Hi, this is János, it is Real World Audio, and I just want to show you the screws that I have changed, where they are, what they are, and basically it seems there's some activity. Let's wait. Okay, it's gone. So I have changed these 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the ones that hold the top down, because I had only these ones that are 1.5 inch long screws, and then these are used for construction, so I just have these as leftovers, as some construction grade stuff. They stick to a magnet. I don't know what is exactly their material, but something magnetic. I've been calling them, I don't know, something in my previous videos, but to tell the truth, I don't remember what's the exact material of them. They are just something you get for wood screws. And I have changed them. Here is what they changed them for. And now you can see this is your coffee at work. And these are round head slotted wood screws. And size number 10 and 1.5 inch long. And it says plain finish and brass grade 360. So that's what I am using. That's what I changed them for. And let me just, maybe, can you see them here? That's how they look like. And you see they are quite a bit thicker than the original screws I used. And you were asking, some of you, like, why does it make such a difference? Why not just use steel screws and put nylon washers or rubber grommets under, or why not glue the wood together? And the response for that is actually you can do anything you want, really, and I really recommend it for everyone to experiment and try things out for yourself, and then stick to whatever it is that you like the most. So this is truly about personal preference, and also about cost, and about how much hassle it is for you. So if for you it's simpler to just glue things together, then just glue it together. If you have a ton of steel screws or zinc screws or whatever screws and you want to use it, just use it. And or what I recommend is just try these brass screws or bronze screws if you can find such ones. So the reason why I'm using these brass screws is because of the properties of it. And what are these properties? So the main property is that I can tell you as a numerical property is the sound of speed. The transmission of sound in brass is the same speed as the transmission of sound in highest grade wood. So basically in wood, depending on whether it's along the grain or across the grain, and high quality wood or low quality wood, the wood transmits sound in the worst case of about 3000 meters per second. That's at the low margin, and the high is 5000 meters per second. So that's why when you use different grades of wood, you use, like, the grain is facing different directions. That's why you get different sound, because they transmit the sound at different speeds. And when you use brass screws, they transmit speed at 5000 meters per second, which is at the high range of wood's speed transmission. So they are roughly the equivalent of using wooden pegs of the highest quality wood. Now, if you use like wooden screws or like the wooden pegs that you can buy like in bulk, like 500 pegs, usually those ones are really cheap low grade wood, and they just bring down the sound of the cabinet closer to their cheap low grade level. So whenever the resonance is induced in the front plate, there's that cheap low grade stuff that is transmitting it to this top plate behind it or to the side wall. And of course you could go for some really high quality pegs or screws, but look at the price tag of those and you will quickly resign to doing something else. Or if you have the bank account for it, you can try like those high quality maybe like mahogany or ebony screws or something like that, but you will end up with a bill that will dwarf the money you paid for the drivers. And that's not the case for brass screws. It will be still quite affordable, especially if you buy them in bulk, not buy each. So that's reason number one, that brass behaves as the best quality wood in transmission speed of the sound. So basically it does not stick out from the material of the cabinet that I am using. And also the resonance of a brass, the brass is a softer material than iron or steel, and that results in it having a broader resonant pattern than steel or aluminum or these other hard metals that are used as screws. And that's one reason why it is being used for music instruments, because it's able to resonate at a wider frequency range. And that's why you have like trumpets and trombones and tubas that can play a wide range of musical note, and they are not a one note instrument. If they would be made of steel, they would be a very harsh one note instrument, because you quickly notice if you build a steel tuba that there will be one resonant frequency where it will resonate no matter what notes you are playing at. And that's not happening with brass. So when you saw those measurements, that there was a single frequency peak that I saw when I had the other material screws in there, that happened not because it increases the efficiency of the cabinet, but it's because whenever the cabinet started resonating and trying to transmit energy to the air at certain frequencies, those screws started to resonate at their own frequency, and the energy got shifted to those frequencies. And with the brass, the transmission is occurring at a much wider, broader frequency range, and I'm not hearing that peakiness in the sound anymore. And I also got a suggestion to try out torquing the screws to the same tightness, to the same torque, and I'm showing my screwdriver here. That is how I put the cabinet together. They were torqued to the same torque, all of them on both cabinets. So that's something that you might want to do. If you don't have a screwdriver where you can set the torque, then you can also tighten by hand and feel the torque with hand. If you have a practice after putting in several thousand screws and watching out how tighten you tighten them, and play around with screwdrivers, setting up the torque to different level and see how does it feel when you try to turn it, you can develop the feeling to even manually torque screws to the same torque. So if you don't have a power tool that does it for you, don't despair. You can do it yourself, and you can do a pretty good job at it. So I think that was the big brass screw episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments, and I hope it was useful for everyone. So basically my reason to use brass screws is because they are very close in behavior to wood, but not just any wood, but the highest quality wood, and they transmit the energy very fast from one panel to the other and make an extremely strong connection. If I were to glue the panel parts together, even if I do an excellent job, which means I can put tons of pressure to glue the faceplate onto the sides, even in the best case scenario, the transmission speed between the front baffle and this one will be limited and won't be as good as the transmission speed that the brass screw offers. So basically that live cabinet that's just glued together won't be as live as the one with the brass screws. So please like and subscribe if you haven't, but for those of you who are building Lagron, you will have a tremendously fun adventure, and I will be posting more videos on the build and to help with internal wiring, etc. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.